It's a really tough racetrack. It is. It's something as a driver, you know, at Darlington, you have to really sit there and mentally prepare even before practice. You have to think about how you're going to run the racetrack. You remember all the places that could reach out and bite you. And our Ford is very fast. We at the end of practice there, we put up the 4th fastest time. It's handling well. I'm excited for this race. This is one of the most fun races on the schedule for me and for our team.
How you finished? I mean, obviously you ran well last year. Does it give you confidence? Does it help coming in this year? Slightly.
Yeah, we've been waiting since that last restart a year ago to come back here. So this would be, you know, everyone talks about, you know, this being one of the biggest races, and for me, it really is for our whole team. We would like to win this race, and the track has aged, I think, really well. I think that the pavement is it's a little more forgiving right now, so you can slide the car around a little bit more. It's more fun than it's been the last couple of years, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be a heck of a race. It's just a cool place to come race. I'm glad we're here.
I will take two over here. Excuse me, two over here with Claire and then Thomas, and then we'll go over here to this side. Go ahead.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Two things real quickly. One, can you describe what it's like trying to race against the wall here at Darlington? And second of all, if a person really needs a win here, this is a rough place to come to track, really needing to get a win.
Right. What was the first question?
Darlington, always like to race around Darlington.
Oh, okay. So driving around here, you know, you're a constant battle there. You know, with you want to drive as hard as you can. You want to get that last little inch right up by the fence. But if you catch the fence, if you go a little too far, it'll. I mean, it sucks the front of the car right into the fence, and it's really bad for the equipment. I've run into the wall a lot here, and usually the car runs worse after you hit it. So I'm gonna try really hard not to hit the fence. 500 miles is so tough. It's tough to put that 500-mile race into perspective before you get going, because for some reason this just doesn't feel like any other track. It feels like you know, like a Baja race or some adventure race or something. There's so much that happens throughout the night, so many things that change, and people that hit the fence, and your fortune can change. You could be a lap down halfway through it and then dominate in the second half and come back and win. It's just not a track. You really are racing the track. It's like every man for himself for the first 3/4 of the race, and then you start racing people at the end. So it's I don't know if I'm doing a good job of describing it, but it's just a tough place. Every lap is different. So many things can change throughout the event that you have to really balance being aggressive, but being cautious. And it's a taxing race, you know, mentally and physically. It's a very tough race. Now, as far as coming in needing a win, yeah, you don't want to come in here needing a win, but you know, a good solid run here does a lot for you. I think it boosts confidence. It's one of the toughest tracks on the schedule, on the equipment, on the drivers, on the pit crews, on the crew chiefs. You know, our race last year, we did everything right, and then we, you know, I underestimated Regan at the end, and so I learned a lot, and I think Bob learned a lot through that race. So it's just a really tough place. I mean, when you walk out of here, it's like, whew, man, you know, that was an event. So it's fun, like, you know, in all those respects, it's fun.
Let's go here to Thomas right here, and then we'll come to this side. Go ahead.
Thomas Pope from the Fayetteville Observer. Carl, when you first started racing here, how would you compare the quote-unquote fun quotient to where it is now to what a lot of drivers were saying this morning, that they wish it would hurry up and age a little faster and take the strategy off the pit road and put it back?
I think all the drivers really liked the old pavement. I think that the new pavement initially took something away from the racing here, but I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if other guys feel the same way, but I feel like that this year compared to last year, it's been a big step forward. You know, it seems like it's aged a little bit. The Goodyear tires are falling off a little bit more. It's not so white knuckle on the edge. You know, the car can slide a little bit. You can mess up and kind of, you know, slide the car and gather it back up. So there's a little bit of forgiveness there, and I think all of that leads to better racing. So I'd say we're 50% there. or something like that. But I think every year we come back here, it's just going to get better and better.
Carl, Tom Jensen, Speed.com. To follow up on the aging question with the tires. Last year, Regan won by not taking tires and staying out. Do you think with the pavement a little bit more worn in, that that's not going to be an option this year, that if there's a yellow flag at the end, everybody's got to come in the last 10 or 20?
I think we'll see in this nationwide race tonight if you, in fact, can't stay out with 10 or 15 laps on your tires. I just don't know. You know, and I'm telling you guys, you cannot discount how hard and Regan drove those last couple of laps either. I think he surprised everyone, including myself. His car was very fast, and he did a heck of a job. But yeah, I think we all hope, all of us drivers hope that the tires will fall off a little bit more, that the track will eat those tires up, and then it becomes really a battle of the race cars and the drivers, and not so much the pit strategy. But I would not take anything away from what Regan did. He hung on, he drove hard, and he didn't win that thing. That was not solely because he stayed out. It was a great job on his part.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, Mike Neff, frontstretch.com. Kind of belaboring that point just a little bit, but the track is aged, but it's definitely not the old Darlington yet.
Right.
Is it to a point where the driver can still say, rather than take tires, I can get up on the wheel for 3 or 4 laps and get it done? Or are tires getting to the point now where we've aged enough that it's that much of a premium that tires are going to be more important?
I'm just not sure. How old was the old pavement before we took it up? Does anybody know? 13, 14 years? How old is it now? Is this 3rd or 4th year? This is the 4th year. I think this year, to me, it feels like the first couple of years it was really, really, locked down. The tires didn't fall off a lot. The cars didn't wiggle much. This year it feels like a pretty big step. If it continues at that rate of change, if the change continues the way it seems to be, I think it's just going to get better and better. And in practice we didn't have huge fall off, but we started running 29 50s or 60s, and it fell off to I get my seconds mixed up, but it fell off about 4 tenths or something like that, which is huge. 4 tenths of a second a lap is pretty big over 10 laps. And I don't know if everybody's fallen off that much. I think some guys are a little better than that, but as long as you can just get a few tenths or half a second, it turns into a pretty interesting race, because a guy can take tires, charge up through the field. I don't know if we're quite there, but it's getting close.